All right.
All right.
Good. Thank you,
Have
Drew.
a great time. Say
Thank
hi to
you, Mike.
everybody for me. Okay.
Drew says hi, everybody. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, wow. What a week, what a week. Thank you so much again for reviewing our videos. Appreciate this. I'm glad it's helping so many of you guys. You're asking appropriate questions. You guys are really getting focused. And some are repetitive questions that we've answered before, but I don't mind answering them because we have new people coming on. We're getting a lot of videos. I saw Dan the Man. He got his 900th video. So stop clowning around, Dan. Oh, Danny boy. But thank you so much for this. And I'm going to start taking off because taking a week off made me really get behind with you guys. So I'm going to do my best to try to catch up this week. So we're going to have quite a few videos going up here, and I hope I can touch on you. I did a video yesterday I felt was important on detoxification and the healing crisis. I ran out of time. I would have liked to put more in terms of the healing crisis because people are getting, all kinds of side effects in healing crisis. Some have none. Some have a few, like cold and flu-like symptoms. Aches and pains, of course, are always the traveling. I've got a pain here. I've got a pain there. That's the traveling band of carpenters, I call them, going around repairing all these weaknesses in you. Excellent stuff. When you get a pain in an area that stays around too long, you're either eating too many vegetables and you're holding detox right there, and you can hold a healing crisis for weeks there. So you either have to stop it by eating cooked food or kick it up by eating all fruit. It's funny. I've had 40 years of working with the fruits, and people still made a lot of comments here on fruit sugars. I've addressed this in enough videos that I don't think I'm going to spend much time going over this again. The idea that God made fruits and berries and melons as something that is going to hurt you is just insane. And to ever think that fruit sugar is going to feed cancer over another sugar is insane. Someone asked me here about the effect of the liver metabolizing fructose into glucose. Well, I don't believe the liver transmutates all fructose into glucose at all. It's a simple sugar. It can be utilized directly, and in my opinion isn't oftentimes. I've taken type 1 diabetes and put them exclusively on fruits, and an Amish healer up in Indiana proved this for me as well. We've taken type 1 diabetics and we put them exclusively on fruits, no vegetables. After they get through breaking down some fat and glucose loading and stuff like this, you'll find that their blood sugar stabilizes well. So it wouldn't be the kickback from liver metabolizing fructose into glucose and seeing that glucose kick. No, not at all. So I don't see that at all anywhere. And I disagree with what we think we know about physiology in all places. The medical doctors, we assume, have all the knowledge, and actually, to me, they have the least of the knowledge. So a lot of things that are claimed just aren't true. We do not know it all. We do not know it all in chemistry, and biochemistry is a radical field where everybody disagrees. Another question, and this is from you, Brandon, about the pH factors and all these pH scales and things. Well, you guys are just finding what I found for 40 years. Everybody disagrees. And so what does that mean? That means you have to get out of the mind, and you have to start looking at nature and seeing how nature does it, and following your instincts. Get into that instincts in the human body and into yourself. And you'll do better than trying to use the mind. See, our species used the mind more and lost our intuitiveness. And by losing our intuitiveness, we lost a big part of our God consciousness and a big part of how we should operate life and the joy of that. And we've substituted thoughts. Well, the problem with the mind, it can be a conditioned instrument. And most thoughts are conditioned thoughts, meaning that your ideas and opinions have been put there by other sources that are probably not even accurate. A lot of what we believe isn't even true. So when I realized that the mind was an instrument that can be trained to view truth in an aberrated way, I decided to get beyond the mind, because it wasn't a good master. It's a servant at best, and you have to be always mindful that what you're thinking isn't a conditioned thought, and lead you down a road of untruth, if there's anything as such as untruth. I mean, everything is truth, I suppose, at one level or not. But anyway, Brandon, I want to let you know, Brandon, the girls can count here, so I will let you know that. But when we do our work here, we are one of the top companies that box and ship. I noticed this one guy made his whole website in exposing God's herbs and how well we ship and box. Most people wouldn't understand that, but we get a lot of products in here broken from companies that don't ship well, companies that don't pack well, and I can tell you, you look at our packing and shipping, everything is done well. We triple count. We have a system like no other here. So we've had years of people taking advantage of us, claiming they didn't get this or didn't get that. We knew darn well because we double or triple count. So we really go out of our way here. So, but Brandon, I can tell you, my friend, everybody disagrees. So I just have to say that no matter what, fruits, berries, and melons, and kids, remember, we're dealing in hybrid foods. You know, most of the foods we eat are hybrids. So in each generation, you know, hybrids get weaker. It's like genetics, you know. So I think you can't worry about it. That's what I think. I think that this is so simple that the average person just can't grasp the simplicity of this. And that's why some lady said, you know, that eliminates all cooking. I don't have to have stoves. I said, all I have is a knife, a spoon, a fork, and a plate, and a bowl. And that's it. You know, so really, the simplicity of this is incredible. And it simplifies one's life and gets out of that intellectual thought. So I would say this, don't worry about the pHs of things, because the only pH to worry about, in my opinion, is your urine. Make sure that you're getting sediment in that urine and that you're seeing an acidic urine. All right. So Alona Lada. A lot of serious heart problems, huh? Sweet. You know what, again, what's the heart made of? The heart is made of a bunch of cells, and we've talked about this before, you know, divided off into 4 chambers with 2 valves. So you've got a 4-chambered organ that's made up of cells, and each cell has blood and lymph flowing around it, and then you have a nervous system. This is true everywhere in your body there is. So you have to strengthen up your nervous system. Well, how do you strengthen up cells? Well, what weakens them? So always remember that when something says, well, I got a weak mitral valve, or I've got a prolapsed mitral valve, a heart murmur, or I've got a weak kidney, or whatever. Well, what are you talking about? You're talking about cells. All right? So you've got weak cells, okay? How do you get weak cells? What weakens cells? Well, you have to go back to understanding, well, let me see. Chemistry, of course, everything is chemistry. And, of course, chemistry has 2 sides to it. And keeping it simple, you've got the healing side of chemistry, and you have the gnarly or corrosive side of chemistry, the acid side. Okay, so you can see that if you examine this through chemo and the damaging effects of chemo on cells, the damaging effect acids have on cells, or you could just drink soda pop and hold it in your mouth until the burn was too intense and you had to let it go. These are acids. And if your mouth didn't supply alkaline enzymes to counter that acid from Coke, you hold it in your mouth. Coke has the same pH as the acids that damage your cells and can create a cancer cell. So just hold Coke in your mouth, but the problem is your mouth is going to, the mucosa, part of the lymph system, is going to secrete mucus to protect the cells. And so you can't hold it on you too long. The best test is the skin. Drop a little chemo on your skin. Any nursing practitioner will tell you you can't drop chemotherapy on your skin Nobody in chemo work will ever tell you to drop chemo on the skin. Remember gloves and everything? Why? Ask exactly why. What's your skin made of? Cells. The same thing, your liver, your heart, and wherever you have cancer, that's a damaged cell. So, you know, these guys are insane, in my opinion. And you have to get to understanding that. So whether you have a heart weakness, whether you have a liver weakness, a kidney weakness, it's the acid side of chemistry, and 9 times out of 10, it's the lymph system that created that. So you go to the lymph system and you work on your lymph system. If you want to strengthen the myelin sheath, you've got to get more neurotransmitters. More neurotransmitters. The neurotransmitters that most directly affects the heart comes out of the adrenal glands. And so, obviously, there's a connection between that and the kidneys, because they sit right on top, and then the connection the kidneys have, of course, to this gigantic sewer system. I was just talking to a guy this morning, you know, dealing with cancer, and when you see sediment in your urine, you always see your tumors go down. When you don't see the filtration of the kidneys, they'll grow up. So, sweetheart, take care of yourself there. We have a good heart formula for strengthening heart tissue, but at the same time, remember your lymph system and moving the lymph. If you want to strengthen your nervous system, definitely you want to hit your adrenals. You can do it with a cytotrophin or a glandular, or hit it with the herbal adrenal thing, but strengthen your body. But strengthening your heart is also strengthening your brain and strengthening your liver and strengthening your lungs. You can't just focus on one thing at a time in the human body. That's why I love the Supreme Being. It's so cool. So cool. This is going around about raw cocoa and stuff, you know. Chocolate, raw chocolate. I like the comment of the lady that says it's not healthy, taxes the adrenal glands with all its stimulants, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, yeah, I guess as I get older, I can tell you can tell I'm not perfect in the way I eat too. I've had my days where I was so strict that it wasn't even funny, and I can get there, and do get there at times. You'll see me go through different phases, but you know, at one level, if you have a little of raw chocolate, so what? If you're doing everything else raw, so what? On the other side of it, if you want to be a perfectionist, don't do it. You know, stick with your raw fruits, berries, and melons. But we can always find a problem with almost everything that's out there. I've never seen anybody not find a problem with something, but I agree with her. I mean, that, you know, it's man's desire to have something. So what if we have a little of something? It doesn't matter as long as you're healthy and you're focused. If you're going after something serious, that's when you set this stuff to the side. And then you get very seriously focused until you're way done and you're vibrantly healthy. Then you'll know when the coca is good for you or not, because the minute you eat it, your body will go, hello. Or it'll go, oh, that was pretty good. I can tell you after all these years, my body still says, no, 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 no. No, you can't have that. And that's the beauty of getting your body healthy, is that your body will tell you. And a lot of you guys have made comments on this, and I really love that you're seeing now that your body's letting you know what it doesn't want anymore. And it's when you get to that point, if you can get your friends to do 1 month raw foods, that's all it takes. Actually 2 weeks, but 1 month raw foods, that's all it takes. They'll not be able to go back without feeling sick. Most of them anyway. JG. Yeah, I like what you said. Kelly, you've done well, my sweetheart. You're doing well. Just hang in there. You're doing well. You got a lot of people here wanting to help you and do well. So I think you've done well, Kelly. You worked yourself through it. I wasn't quite sure initially with what I saw with your attitude and everything, whether you were grabbing and bracing, because so I think you've done well, Kelly. You worked yourself through it. I wasn't quite sure initially with what I saw with your attitude and everything, whether you were grabbing and bracing, because the one thing you can't fool is spiritual people. Spiritual people see through things. They see reality for what it is, because they don't have an ultimatum or a preconceived notion that they lay on people. spiritual people try to get free of any attachment like that. So they work more in the present moment. So you'll see a lot of these people that made comments. There's some rude people out there, no question. And this site is for all of you, including those that are rude. You will learn to get out of that. Always remember before you speak, is it kind, is it true, and is it necessary? And always keep that in mind, although sometimes I just let her fly, but I try to be connected, and I try not to be the one that speaks. I try to let whoever speaks, meaning, as close as I know as to the Supreme Being as I can get. So I try to let it use me as a channel, but at the same time, I know very much that I'm the reason that I'm here. I mean, I'm the one that has to be aware and channel and know it and not just be a nothing. So I have to be the active participant in creation for it to experience itself at me. And the same with you and everything, including plants. So you've done well, Kelly. I've done well, and thank you, JG. You see through things, and people know when you're hanging on to something that you don't. That's the beauty of the spiritual people. Sometimes they see things that you don't. So you've accepted that, Kelly, and I like that you've accepted the fact that people are seeing things that you're holding on to, and now you're letting go. So from what I could see, it looks pretty good. There's a lot of comments about moles. And, you always see moles growing on people when they have weak adrenal glands. This is a sugar metabolism problem. Lump it all in the fungal family. Whenever you don't metabolize sugars, you'll grow moles on you. That's all there is to it. And this is an adrenal gland issue, and it just comes with it. But it also is reflective of a lot of candida and fungus in the body. And so you'll always see that. And in time, those people generally have blood sugar problems. You'll see that. So you can use Parasite M on a regular basis and they'll fall off, even warts, even though virals, even these skin tags, they'll all fall off the healthier you. And you notice this is all related to, one, the lymph system, the kidneys and adrenals. It all comes back to that, even though the adrenals are so far reaching in the body in terms of sugar metabolism, mineral utilization, body shape and size, a lot of stuff in those adrenals, just amazing glands. Someone has said something about black salve, putting black salve on. And someone wrote, where do you get black salve? And I don't know where that is in here, but when I get to it, I'll make a comment on it. But this is a comment, and somebody used a call tag of like FDA or something like that, or whatever. You know, the FDA does not like black salve. And that's because the FDA doesn't like anything but corruption, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, for what little we see out of there that's to our benefit, and I admit some of the stuff the FDA comes up with is bona fide and accurate. They got their good side to them. But they also have their bad side. And you're seeing that in California where they were being raided. All these, and this nutraceutical company were raided with 80 armed guys. You know, you keep pushing the American public too long, and 80 guys can't do nothing against thousands of people. You know, you keep pushing the people too much, and then you're going to have a retaliate. And now, thank God, I'm actually happy people are standing up, America, in these parks, even though it's about corporate greed and corruption. People don't realize that extends to the oil companies and everywhere else. That's why people can't afford to do anything. But it serves as another purpose, and that is to show Americans that we can stand up. All these other countries, look right now, they're standing up, whether they're getting killed or not, they're standing up. Because every government that I know of, except that maybe New Zealand and a few places, end up getting corrupt. And our government is one of the top corrupt governments in the world. And they don't care. We have more prisoners in our jails, and Fox News always is commenting on this. We have more prisoners in our jails, and over drugs. That's a sad thing, you know. We're a sad country, and we got an FDA going in and raiding people because they're serving raw milk. We're so scared of bacteria, we run like little children and hide in holes in the ground. This is all from the medical community and their stupidity. And so we've created this monster that is an extension of pharmaceutical companies. It's just amazing. It's amazing. So all I can tell you is truth always wins out, and that if you work for the FDA or the IRS, quit. Start working for the people. Quit these corrupt people that are breaking the law. It's one thing if you follow the law and the law is accurate. Now there's one here. There's a slip disc in his vertebrae. This is the Manny market. And let me see, he's 33 years old. And he's been able to get this pain out of the back. He has insomnia. So he has back pain, which disables him from getting out of bed, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And someone was talking about a machine or something here that they used. Anyway, there's TENS units, there's all kinds of things. I will say this, though. Remember the kidneys and the lymph. This is the core issue every time, guys. The adrenals, the kidneys, and its effect upon the gigantic lymph system, and of course the lower back. You can't repair that lower back as long as you're not filtering, and you're 33. That tells me you have big-time kidney and adrenal weaknesses. At 33 years old on this planet right now, you can just about gamble and win the lotto that you have kidney and adrenal weaknesses. It's just how much. And the fact that your lower back is already having problems is just confirmation of it, hands down. So this is a lymphatic problem, but we're reaching up into insomnia. Now we're up here now, but look at how many young people are balding. I'm amazed. I walk around and 30-year-old kids are having receding hairlines and balding so they keep their head shaved. Amazing how much is out there. And that means serious problems for the mind, for Alzheimer's and dementia in the young people. I mean, real serious stuff. And insomnia, of course, getting into the pineal gland. So again, you always want to go back to the GI tract. You want to go to the kidneys, adrenals. You always want to move those lymphs, man. Use some upper circulation. Use a pineal glandular. It really will help to rest and start getting that body healthy, man. And you'll do good. Baby cakes. Thanks for all your stuff there. Joy, thanks for your kickback on that. I know I've talked with you here. You're a client of ours. I know that you talked about some good stuff here with seizures and things and gave her some good input here. Joy works with animals, guys. She gave you her phone number here, which was really nice. But she's definitely one of the lovely souls, you know. So, but she works with dogs and stuff. Anyway, this black salve, that's just bloodroot, you know, maybe some poke, but some bloodroot. That's all black salve is. Some lady, this was on the news where and this is what the FDA was so up in arms that this lady put this black salve on her nose and it took off her nose. Well, it didn't take off her nose, but it put a big hole there, I'm sure. Now, I said this on another video. Had they had a surgeon remove that cancer on her nose, she probably wouldn't have had her nose and half her face is gone. So what this lady did not understand is, yes, the black salve is going to pull that cancer out of there, but it'll heal up in time. But you have a surgeon take out a tumor, you're going to lose a lot of tissue. If you don't believe me, I've got a lot of pictures here to show you what surgeons have done to people. Not a pretty picture. When they're trying to get a clear margin, anything's up for grabs. So I'm going to tell you, what the FDA needs to get with this. These are natural remedies. The black salve is generations old. Generations old. But nothing wrong with it. I'll tell you this, though. I don't make it. You can get it. You can order it. They have different names for it. The Indians used it quite a bit. Native Americans had a lot of these type of salves. So great stuff here. There was a book written on the black salve. I can't remember the author of it, but you could probably Google it. But let's say you had a breast tumor and you were going to pull it out with black salve. The problem is that now that is a port because you didn't fix the cause. And this is going back to allopathic thinking. Allopathic thinking is, okay, so you have a lumpectomy. Well, a black salve is like a lumpectomy, except it pulls cancer cells. It can pull from all around that area. It can pull from your shoulder. It doesn't hurt you, and it'll pull that out. But that becomes a port, and it will drain and it will leak. And it'll do that until your kidneys start filtering, or all these wastes are cleaned out of here. So it can be quite a while, it can stay open. Other people, it'll heal right up. So it can be either one. It doesn't matter where on the body it is. People pulled warts and moles off with black salve for years. Skin, basal cell, easy to correct with black salve. Easier to take care of with black salve than it is with surgery. Because if you notice, most surgeons that take off basal cells, it comes back as squamous. So what we're talking about on this YouTube is health, dynamic health. That's our word. The medical doctors can't have that word. And so that's our field. We're about health of the human body. Diseases, they can take them and run with them, have all they want. But you want health of the body, health of the cells, and health of those two fluids. And there's nothing of condition that you can't remedy and you can't find dynamic health with. In a dynamically healthy body, there is no such thing as the word diseases or symptoms other than true vibrancy and health of the body. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, this 303. Well said with this to Jackie Doe. It's a great comment of Kelly. But yeah, great comments, guys. I love you guys. You're all good. You're so good. I'll get caught up here with all these questions with you, and I only have 10 minutes left with you right now. But you just don't know how much I appreciate all this, and I tell you, you're all good God people, and I love you all. You guys are calling in. I feel your hearts, your beauty. I just love you all. We had a guy here. His new name is Mango Mike, and so we just love you all. Doing well. So keep up the good work, guys. Really think a lot of you guys. Kathy, was it the acid foods or the thoughts or breath that cause? You're talking about thoughts. You're talking about Louise Hayes, and I've commented on this before. Each level has its own karma, its own set of laws, its own set of mechanics, so to speak. I'm really a believer that when you have physical toxicity, you remove it physically. I've had a lot of positive thinkers, and like I said, I think Sai Baba is one of the few that you've seen has a power that could change some things, but in reality, the average positive thinker has no chance. I don't care how positive you want it to go, it's still a physical obstruction. You can help the symptoms through acupuncture or massage or something like this, but I think following the laws at each level will yield you health at each level. And so I can tell you that people have used Louise Hayes' concepts and stuff, and yes, thoughts cause this and this, but there are physical manifestations. There's physical chemistry. You can think positive all you want about dead animals. You can think how good this milk is for me, how positive is this for me, and you'll probably digest it better, but when it comes to milk, you won't digest it at all, especially pasteurized milk. No one digests pasteurized milk, and very few now, after age 2, digest raw milk. That's from the medical doctors, not me. I always thought it was age 3. No, the medical doctors say after age 2 you can't digest milk. Then why do you promote its use? You can think positive all you want about dead animals. You can think how good this milk is for me, how positive is this for me, and you'll probably digest it better, but when it comes to milk, you won't digest it at all, especially pasteurized milk. No one digests pasteurized milk, and very few now, after age 2, digest raw milk. That's from the medical doctors, not me. I always thought it was age 3. No, the medical doctors say after age 2 you can't digest milk. Then why do you promote its use? I mean, this is as stupid as stupid stuff, And so you can wish that it doesn't cause mucus. You can wish and know that the body will tolerate it well, and you still come in here with problems because you must follow the laws on each plane. Sorry. I don't see how you can get out of that. This person was talking about a lot of polyps on the vocal cords. They were doing massive amounts of milk and stuff like this, and they almost had their appendix removed. And doing on a great fast and kicking butt here. So yeah, good work, man. I mean that's what it is. Polyps are like tumors, you know. Let's use the word. And this is all lymphatic issues. And just get your get your lymph moving. Just talk with a guy. He's a great blues player. Oh, Duke. Duke Danger, a great blues player. Been with the Earth, Wind, and Fire. He's traveled with everybody. B.B. King gave him one of his old Lucille's. I mean, he's a good guy here, good singer, but, you know, woke up with a problem on the neck, and just he's been so strict with grapes and lemons. Just in under a month, this tumor's gone off his neck. So it just shows you the power of that, and the power that what you can do when you get focused and that. You know, I think you could make a tea from Parasite G or M for headlights and mites and stuff like this and be very effective. We don't have a lot of that come in here, to be honest with you. We have more serious issues, but I've always thought you could make a nice tea of that. I've heard some of the people comment they'd had successful with making a tea out of that and using that as a head wash. You have to be careful with, you know, some black walnut not dyeing some clothes and stuff, but still, you could definitely use make a tea out of Parasite G or M, and or use those kind of herbs, and make yourself a tea and wash your head with the tea and everything. Definitely, parasites don't like these herbs. That's for sure. Now, this is Oxygen Palm. Let me see. My sister is detoxing on fruit at the moment, and there are some improvements. She is, however, experiencing bad headaches and beginning to get up lots of mucus, various colors, with blood. Is blood normal? Absolutely. I mean, when you're acidic for years, and this mucus has clogged the sinuses, clogged the lungs, this is an acid condition. That's why all this mucus. So the stress on the little capillaries is obvious. And of course, calcium is one of the body's main antacids. So not only are you going to get thin capillary walls, you're going to get some interstitial bleeding, of course, because your interstitial fluid is blood. So you are going to see some mucus in stools. If you have fissures or hemorrhoids, you can see mucus coughing up, especially if you have real thin capillaries, and you can see mucus coming out of the sinuses sometimes when those capillaries are real thin. But you know, I mean, if you're experiencing too much bleeding like that, get our bleeding formula. It's a homeostatic formula. It stops internal bleeding, and then keep cleaning this out, and then these will strengthen. Check your parathyroid. You might want to do a little parathyroid Calma Plus or something. It'll strengthen up that capillary wall. The flavonoids in all the fruits and berries and melons will help to strengthen the capillary walls, and so it won't be long, and you'll strengthen all that up, and everybody's good. How do you see liver signs on the face? You know what? There's been a lot of ideas. I really don't follow the different lines on the face and the ears for the hearts and stuff like that. This person that says, even hesitant to ask questions now. I see some folks are so critical. This is Kelly. Kelly, you know, you just ride with that, my sweetheart. You know, everybody's trying to help. Some of them are a little sarcastic, but you know what? This is a learning channel for them too, because the people that are not are going to hit on them too. So this is how all life seeks a balance. And it's also the pry for you, and it's a pry for them. And so this is how we all become one. And keep your love, Kelly. Keep your compassion, and we'll keep ours, and everybody works together. And those that are too critical, just open your hearts. And, you know, I know you're trying to pry her loose, but if you listen to her, she's loosening herself. She's doing well. You'll be able to tell people that don't let go. And, yeah, you know, you never want to remove someone's crutches too fast, because moving someone's crutches too fast is like taking a wall, a freestanding wall that has a support beam, and just taking the beam out, and now the wall has no support. You want to build support in her. You want to build knowledge and awareness and trust. She's been to a lot of places and had a lot of spent a lot of money, and this is true. I mean, I see it in here all the time. People been to naturopath after naturopath. That's a disgusting thing for me. It's one thing to go to the medical community and realize that side of life, but to go to naturopath after naturopath and hear a lot of crap, that gets me. And a naturopath that recommends high-protein diets and stuff, they're not true naturopaths. And there's no way to guard against it. And states can't, they don't have the right, they can't guard against it either. That would be guarded. They would shut down the medical community. If the states were about protecting humans, they would shut down the medical community in every state, because there's the killing machine, not naturopaths. But it is true that a lot of naturopaths spin their wheels, spend a lot of people's money, and don't know a thing about true health. But, you know, I don't know how you correct that. You live in the marketplace. This planet is a marketplace. And it was once, 60 Minutes once did a special. And they did a special, and this special was related to medical doctors that have a high kill ratio in one state, and then they move to another state. How do you protect the individual or individuals in one state when you have a high kill ratio medical doctor come to that state, known to be very bad in his techniques, and he kills a lot of people? How do you, or harms them, how do you protect the people in another state? Well, I think it was Wally Safer, or one of them, asked this question at the head of the AMA. That was his question to the head of the AMA. You know what? The head of the AMA, I forget who he was at the time, this is a lot of years ago. You know what his answer was to that? His answer was to that question on 60 Minutes. Let buyer, not poor little patient, let buyer beware. That's 60 Minutes, guys. That ain't me. Let buyer beware. Now, that tells you where their thinking is, isn't it? Now, what about that, FDA? What did you do about that one? You know? That makes you sick. But I'm detached. You know, I'm detached. So, Kelly, keep going. We'll take it easy on you. You keep going. You've done well. Fruits feed parasites? Nah, never heard of that one. Maybe like Candida? Well, simple sugars are always going to be involved. If you have high Candida levels and you quit all starches, you're going to have a lot of hungry people. So you detoxify, use Parasite M and clean these colonies out of you. But in reality, you know, starch has been the problem. Grains. Someone said grains were healthy. What's healthy about a grain? You ever see a horse that doesn't stop eating grains? What happens to them? It's called foundering. They become extremely acidic. They can't move. They get stiff and tight, bloated. So my dad shot one of our best horses because of that. Well, you can detox them. Now they detox them if they founder, but my dad put them down. That was the old way of doing it, put them down. And it's like horses don't know how to stop eating, where cows do. So it was just a big thing, you know. And it's like shows you, though, the acidosis of oats and the acidosis of grains and the carbohydrate, the high starch factor or sugar factor of grains. Why would we think that's healthy? When you want a health of a horse, you're going to give it alfalfa. You're going to give it grains. I mean, you're going to give it greens. I have been trying for weeks to find someone who will take a photo of my eyes. This is Eagle 99001. You know, that's amazing. We have a lot of pictures coming here from ophthalmologists. Could be the town you're in. I don't know. You know, they're out there, though. So don't give up and don't feel disheartened. You know, there's some good ophthalmologists that just take pictures. You know, money's money. The beauty of your spirit. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Luke Murr. I thank you too. Thanks for that comment. I try. And I love you too, King Cullen. Thank you very much for your comment. Thank you so much, guys. Someone said to this guy about fasting, a roommate said, fasting lowers your metabolism permanently so that you go back to eating normally. You'll pack on weight worse than before. Where does some of this constipated thinking come from? Let's see. Jesus fasted a lot. No, he wasn't fat. Buddha, no, he wasn't fat, unless it's the eating, laughing Buddha. No, you know what the problem with that is? when you fast, your body doesn't burn protein. Your body burns fat. It's just like a hibernating bear. You know, first need of the human body is oxygen and carbon. Above all else, carbon and oxygen is essential. Oh, it's time for me to go. So this idea that, and it was taught in even chiropractic school. I taught a class for years, classes, with a chiropractor friend of mine who was a kinesiologist, and we taught classes to build our business because no one would come to me, of course, and then he was just out of Palmer. But I used to think that the proteolytic enzymes in your body would digest your own body up. So fasting, you couldn't do it because they've seen people die from fasting. And so we'll get into that sometime, high-end fasting, water fasting, and how people have done it for months and months and months. But no such thing. The real issue is going back to why are you overweight? And that real issue is the adrenal glands. And you've got to fix that. And you got to get away from starches and complex sugars. So you've got to get on raw and get yourself up in that way. So I will try to finish this and connect this as I go through this week because I am really backed up. So I thank you so much, and thank you again for viewing these videos. Bye-bye now.